Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel. Wow, what a night, what a time for our country. What a time for us as rational, cogent, mostly sober-minded people that despite the frustration, the irritation, the annoyance that we had to deal with for the last 4 years, if not the last 8 years, we have seen our efforts rewarded. So if you guys voted, I want to thank all of you guys. I hope, if you're a member of this BuzWeaver channel, of course, that you guys did vote for Donald Trump. Because here on the BuzWeaver channel, of course, we take the difficult, we take the complicated, we take the tumult, we take the confusion, and we break it down as simply as we can. We do not live in an echo chamber on the BuzWeaver channel. I try to emphasize this very clearly to my childhood friends and schoolmate detractors on my Facebook, one who deleted some of my posts as I was trying to emphasize that has the left not considered that the reason Donald Trump won is because people weren't falling for the facade. They weren't falling for the Establishment Uni-party, the deep state, the shadow campaigns nonsense with the lawfare and the insults and the disparaging and smearing and gutter tabloid stuff that they were talking about with Donald Trump. People were sick of it, not to mention the fact that if you as an individual taking care of yourself or taking care of your family, you guys had to buy groceries, you had to pay bills, you had to take care of expenses, you had to buy gas for your vehicle, you had to, pay your taxes, you had all these things going on. So it shouldn't come to any surprise whatsoever to anyone on the left that Donald Trump won. And they are having a rough time, They are grabbing for their copamine, and they're trying to get through it. But talking about getting through it, we have a lot to go through today, so I hope you guys have your Dramamine or are ready for a lot of flipping of the different pages. So let's get started. 270. We worked it out to where we thought it would be 312 for Trump. Now, of course, Nevada and Arizona has not been called yet. So, and Maine. So it's amazing, isn't it? They're at 90%. Arizona, 63% and still counting. Nevada. We knew there'd be some funny business going on there in Nevada, and I think if Kamala didn't have a clear path through the Rust Belt, they were going to hope that Nevada could potentially save her. And of course, they always worked from a position that it was going to take a week for them to do the votes. But for our chart here, we were fairly close. Now, I can't take credit for saying that I knew all this was going to happen because, of course, we use sources, which is what we do here on the BuzWeaver channel. And when we saw that the popular vote across the United States was a 0.1 for Harris, we knew things were about to get very interesting in the popular vote. And then, of course, the battleground states and the swing states. They had Harris at 4. They had Michigan for her at 4. We knew these polls were not entirely accurate. And, of course, we already knew that starting out, that the polls were not going to be 100% on point. But we could depend on Atlas because Atlas was correct. They did make the changes as needed. Still don't know why Ann Seltzer did what she did in Iowa, but man, talk about ruining your reputation just for the establishment, right? To get a few extra points from the left. And imagine all the celebrities out there, all those celebrities that endorsed Kamala. But of course, they had to. Their careers were in balance. If they didn't come out and speak for Kamala, which wasn't going to hurt them if she lost, which is what she did, it wasn't going to hurt them, right? But it is extraordinary, and I'm wondering about Cher and Rosie O'Donnell and George Clooney and all these people that said they were going to leave the country if Donald Trump won. So we'll have to keep an eye on that too. Of course, the betting markets, of course, just, it's obvious now. The betting market here. The poly market, which had Kamala up because of the two whales. Remember, the two big whales. Whales are, if you guys weren't familiar, are individuals who donate large sums, either in crypto or in the betting markets. They're just called whales because, they're big and they bet. So if you guys were wondering why I was using the term whale to describe them, that's what that was for. Poly market, of course, goes without saying. Poly market here goes without saying also, 99%. They're still looking for Nevada to win, Arizona to win, of course, Wisconsin fully, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, and, of course, Maine. So we'll see, in the coming days. But thankfully, Donald Trump did win the Electoral College, but also, we'll get to that in a minute because I was going to show you the popular vote. And he won the popular vote. This was so critical. This was so critical to the argument for Donald Trump because, as you know, the popular vote has been won by Democrats since 1992, except for 2004 with George W. Bush and John Lurch Kerry, who served in Vietnam. Was the last time the Democrats, or was the last time the Republicans had won a popular vote, which is why the Democrats were constantly wrangling about wanting it to go to a popular vote. And there has been many discussions, even going back to the 1800s, of switching it over to a popular vote. This win by Donald Trump in the popular vote is so massive right now. They are in shock that Donald Trump not only, but this was so important. This is what's keeping a lot of them from completely losing it in cities that we were kind of somewhat potentially anticipating, because this is the silencing of their voices here when it comes to the popular vote. They cannot yell mandate. They cannot say that the people were disenfranchised, because this win in the popular vote is absolutely massive, massive win. And as we go here to interactive polls, remember yesterday, we were laughing at this yesterday, but I said, hey, you know, we can laugh about this now, but we're not entirely sure. But then when we look at it now, we can now laugh, a good hearty laugh with a big smile on our faces, knowing 538, Nate Silver, Decision Desk, which usually is pretty accurate. They were doing pretty well last night. Crystal Ball, The Economist, Election Daily, CN, all these people. Well, we got Daily Mail. At least they had a good call for Trump. But all these individuals here, yep, they were off. They were very, 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 very off. And look at this. From Nick Dixon, we live amongst communist retards begging for their own destruction. Look at this across Europe. They thought Kamala Harris was going to have it in the bag because, of course, the facade that was created by the Establishment Uni-party here in the United States, because our media is just an extension of the Democrat Party. So they just, kowtow to them because, they want their exclusives. They want their subsidies. They want their deals. They want their exclusives. They want their prominence out there in the community, in the culture, all out there. So, there's some people here. And I saw some of the international news last night, or some of the BBC reporters or commentators or presenters, as they call them. Oh, boy, were they just like totally despondent, not to mention the ones here in the United States, MSNBC, for example, and CNN. Oh, wow. Talk about just an amazing evening if you are a Trump supporter. What an amazing turnout. And, of course, the facade, the lawfare that they tried, the Establishment Uni-party threw everything they had at Donald Trump. Everything they had at Donald Trump. Even these absurd show trials in New York. What a terrible example of prosecutorial misconduct by Judge Engoron, who did the entire thing under summary judgment, not allowing Trump to enter evidence, not allowing Trump witnesses to speak, not allowing really Trump's lawyers to even speak, because he had an agenda. He had a mandate, and that was to find Donald Trump guilty on anything at all. And he used an old, outdated statute for price gouging. And as Kevin O'Leary has said at the top of his lungs across all of the different media outlets, this is the way real estate is done. He would have to go after every single real estate agent in New York, which is why Hochul had to come out and try to say, no, everything's okay, and basically say, we're just going after Donald Trump, because every business, every real estate agent across the world does the same thing that Donald Trump did. And there was no victim. There was no victim at all. The Deutsche Bank was paid, as though Deutsche Bank was some naive child who doesn't understand how loans work. They're the biggest bank, essentially, in the world for loans, is Deutsche Bank. So how in the world would Deutsche Bank be like some naive person at a garage sale who doesn't understand the price and value of things? It's just ridiculous. And then, of course, the novel decision by Judge Merchan to allow jurors to have to allow them to have individual verdicts. That is just absolutely unheard of. It is just not the way our system works. And of course, he too was not allowing Donald Trump's attorneys to speak. They weren't allowed to object, or he was going to hold them in contempt of court. It was a banana republic kangaroo court lawfare to paint Donald Trump as a one-dimensional villain. This is what people were seeing through. I am so happy, as we have said here on the BuzWeaver channel, if people can see through the facade, if people can see through the nonsense, then we'll succeed. Because if they can't, our country was going to just completely collapse. I wonder who Jill Biden voted for. I mean, talk about wearing all red to send a message. I mean, this is not a coincidence that she's wearing all red. As I understand it, Jack Posobiec said rumors from the East Wing or West Wing was saying that she wrote in Joe Biden. And you know Jill is upset. She is furious. We have not seen her for weeks because she is furious. She knows, everyone knows now that the Establishment Uni-party removed Joe Biden. You know, the big whales of their super PAC, their big money people, the 90 million they were going to hold back if they did not remove Joe Biden. So, ladies and gentlemen, what an interesting sidewalk water brush job there. Power wash job there. Interesting. And then, of course, yep, here we go.
How did we get here? How did we get here? What in the Alice in Wonderland nightmares is going on right now?
All I can say is how fucking dare you?
If you voted for that man, if you voted for anybody other than Kamala and you live in one of the states that it was, you know, close, or if you didn't vote, you.
Senate race. It's not gonna happen.
Go Kamala.
I chose family, I chose women, I chose America. I love you.
How the fuck is this still happening? All I've ever known politically is hatred.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done with you and your mother and your sister. I'm just done with all of this.
I'm sorry to all my friends who are Trump supporters. I don't understand how scared of this man I am.
If this guy does end up winning again, all of the people who voted for him will be like happy and they'll just be celebrating. And everyone else, everyone who feels threatened by him is fucking scared. Like we're...
Now I realize I'm going to have to go and edit half of that stuff, but you get the picture. And I'm not showing this to revel in their disappointment, but it illustrates, because it's funny how the left always tries to say that I'm in a cult. I'm the one who's deranged, and I'm the one who doesn't see what's going on. And no, it's clear what's going on. Trump is going to clean house, as he should. See here, as we mentioned to you guys, that you can always tell the direction of the election oftentimes by the military-industrial complex. The military-industrial complex is the biggest influencer, the biggest cog in the wheel that is the Establishment Uni-party. And if you see the generals and the admirals and others shifting and bailing and getting out and doing this, that, and the other, they know the writing is on the wall. They got their internal polling. They see the internal memos. They see all the stuff going on. Just like we saw last night, even before Trump was announced, they had already sent Secret Service, additional Secret Service over to Trump's Mar-a-Lago home because they knew what the outcome was going to be. But these were the signs that I told you guys to look for. And that win in Pennsylvania is all for Scott Presler right here. It was the effort, the determination, the tenacity, the courage by Scott Presler to get out there. He did a great deal of the groundwork in Pennsylvania, just like the Democrats did in 2020. I mean, the mail-in ballots, the ballot harvesting, all that was going on in 2020, how they were able to pull it off in 2020 was all of the mail-in ballot on the ground. And, of course, the pandemic also was part of that made that possible. So the pandemic also, gave them the ability to get everyone to vote by mail. And then Letitia James, of course, part of the New York lawfare nonsense facade, the game they played to try to smear Donald Trump, had a few things to say also. And of course, you guys can look all these up on X, or formerly Twitter, if you guys want to. That's Colin Rugg there. Nancy Pelosi won her seat yet again for the 20th time. Absolutely amazing, but not surprising that she won yet again. Adam Shifty Schiff did as well. And, of course, he was involved with Judge Merchan's daughter. As you can see here, many of these stories have been removed. Wow, I wonder why. Can't imagine why they've been removed. Judge Merchan's daughter raised $93 million for her Democratic clients, significantly benefiting from the case against Trump. She received nearly $12 million this cycle for her efforts, with $9.7 million coming from the Biden-Harris campaign. Additionally, D.A. Bragg garnered $850,000 in contributions immediately after announcing the 34 count against Trump. And of course, this goes on and on and on and on. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you guys across New Tech, BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey for your guys' continued support. You have been amazing. The outcome could not have been any better. Now, we are still waiting for the House. So the Republicans won the Senate. We're waiting on the House. They should win. Hopefully they will win. The governor's race, all Republican, all GOP, a total and almost complete sweep as soon as we get information on the House. This was the victory that we wanted. This was the victory that had to happen to silence the left, for people to get enough attention to realize that people are not buying what the establishment, what the left, what the woke, what the cancel culture, what the absurdity, trust the science people who say men can get pregnant nonsense. It is a total victory. The American people have rejected the ideology, the philosophy, the worldview of the left, and they are having to cope, as we just saw from Alex Jones, they are having to cope with the fact that their ideology, their philosophy, their worldview has been rejected. So thank you guys across all New Tech, BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey for your guys' continued support. Of course, below this video, you can find the various social media links that I belong to. I would encourage you guys to follow me there as we march on with all the things that are going to be happening with Donald Trump. So I want you guys to be able to stay tuned there. Of course, here on the YouTube channel, you guys can keep up with everything here as well. And, of course, my affiliate marketing below this video has helped out the channel. But, of course, your likes, your shares, and your comments also help. I want to hear from you guys down in the comments section. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? Are you feeling great? Are you feeling wonderful? Are you feeling hopeful? Are you feeling inspired by what happened last night? And, of course, if you do go by the channel, of course, let me go by it real quick here and show you guys the community tab where I had made this little poll for you guys. And, of course, you can still go by and stop by it, even though the determination has been made. So all of you guys, 54% of you guys, no one was wrong. Everyone was right. The Electoral College, and popular vote. And then, of course, both in the GOP House and Senate. Of course, we are still waiting for the House. But so you go on by and vote for the House so that we can make sure the House, we can make it happen. I did that with AI, by the way. That was kind of funny. I did that with the AI on Grok on Twitter, or X as it is, and it's pretty kind of cool. But thank you guys so very much. Appearing there on the screen, that would be the channel icon for all of you watching here on YouTube. You guys can click on that to subscribe. I would encourage you to do so, as well as to select notification. That we know is content here on the channel. And I will see all you guys in the next video.